All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Josh on behalf of Meridian Kiosks. In regards to today's webinar with the MzeroManage platform, I see attendees are rolling in. I'm going to give it a few more seconds and then we will start through. All right, looks like a number of attendees is holding steady where it's at. All right, so good afternoon. Hope everyone had a nice, luxurious Labor Day extended weekend. Got some well needed and well earned and deserved rest and relaxation. So welcome to today's MzeroManage webinar. We're speaking about the MzeroManage cloud platform and how it specifically relates to the Meridian Kiosk PMK, also known as the Personnel Management Kiosk. If you're new to these webinars, you're new to the product, you're new to Meridian, welcome. We're so glad to have you here. I'm going to go through the product. I'm going to go through the online side of everything. And then at the end, we're going to have a little question and answer session. So sit back, relax, grab a water and a snack, and let's get going. All right, so what is the Personnel Management Kiosk? So as you can see here on the screen, Personnel Management Kiosk is essentially a tablet device that's mounted on a stand that uses facial recognition, cameras, thermal imaging to test the temperature, take the temperature, record that, and log that information as your guests, employees, whomever is entering your building or your facility. A couple different options speaking to the product, the physical hardware. So we do have a pedestal mount. It's about your average height pedestal. Average height individuals can walk up to this kiosk, have their temperature taken. It can use facial recognition to scan and check against a database of faces for your organization. Let's say you have a school, you can put students in here, they can walk up, get their temperature scanned. It can store that information out the box. Very unique device, very interesting the way it works and the way it can actually build a database. You can build reports and pull records off of it. Speaking to the other forms of integration, we do have a child height one for the younger schools, the lower schools, or middle school or under, although I have seen some pretty tall middle schoolers in my day. Speaking about the child height one too, I wanted to make a mention. So we do a lot of interaction with the customers, and on the support side, we found some great things about the child height. If you're in a healthcare or senior living facility, somewhere where individuals might be in a wheelchair a lot of the time, we found that the child height and also the countertop model seem to work pretty well. We got some really good feedback on using the child height ones for individuals in a wheelchair, individuals who might be a walker or some type of assisted mobile devices or motility devices, pardon me. Moving right along. So we've got a pedestal mount with LED. Basically, it adds an additional LED for illumination of the alarm. So you get a good scan, you're below the temperature threshold. It lights up green and it welcomes you into the building or into the location you have it at. If there's an abnormal temperature, whether it be too high or too low, outside of the predefined or the user-defined temperature thresholds, it will light up red. There's also an audible alarm that you can toggle on and off with all these devices. Let's say you don't want a kiosk sitting out there on the shop floor. Well, you can get the wall bracket and you can mount it straight up to the wall. Not a problem at all. Gives it a little smaller form factor. Maybe you have some nice decoration or some artwork you could put it between on the wall. Boom, wall mount. As I mentioned before, speaking to the child height model, we do have the countertop model, which can be placed at a reception desk. It's considerably lighter, smaller form factor. So moving it around your organization, should you need to do that, or you use one door one day and another door another, this is all you got to worry about, that countertop model. So we talked about the kiosks themselves, the actual individual unit that you walk up to and get scanned. Your picture, your facial recognition, or running it in a guest mode. Let's say you don't want to use the facial database, not a problem. You can take anonymous or what we call stranger/guest mode photos, and that way you're still recording a face, a timestamp, and a pass-fail or a numerical value for the temperature. So that is out the box what the kiosk can do. But you're a large organization. You've got 10 entrances, 30 warehouses, 5 fabrication facilities. You've got 30 units in the field, or you just have a big office, or you're a large campus, large school. You've got several. Let's say you've got 5 of these kiosks around your location. Any person that has to go to each individual kiosk 5 times to do the same 5 repetitive tasks is probably going to be a little rough around the edges by the time they transit the entire campus to pull some reports or pull some information. So that's where the MzeroManage platform really comes into play. The MzeroManage platform gives you a centralized local area to manage these devices, update settings, change settings, pull universal reports. You've got 5 devices and you've got different set of individuals that scan at each device. Let's say you're a fabrication facility and the guys that are painting all day, they enter the left side of the building, and then the guys that are doing the welding, they come in through the back door. Well, you can have one dashboard, one centralized reporting area to see all those devices, all those PMK devices, all those scans, all those settings. Another great feature of this, because of the cloud storage, individuals' pictures being stored on a local device. If that doesn't bode well with you or your organization due to privacy concerns, the cloud, the secure cloud, MzeroManage Secure Cloud, allows you to actually upload those pictures to a secure, password protected data center, and then it will delete it from the device. It'll actually remove that temporary file from the device, and so the only thing that's left on it is nothing, just the base software. So we'll move quite along here. So what's some features and some capabilities? So MzeroManage, like I said, allowing you that remote access, allowing you that remote management, gives you one centralized area to put a list of employees and their information in the database. One place you can go to put everyone. You've got 200, 300 people. No one wants to go and onboard 300 individuals per kiosk, one at a time. All right, kiosk 1 is done. Let's go walk over here. Everybody line up and let's do it again. That's insanity. So MzeroManage brings some of that sanity back. It brings all that sanity back when it comes to having to do a large employee, what we call upload. So it gives you one centralized location to add these individuals. It gives you a working record set. Oh, somebody got married, got to change their name. Click edit, save it. It's that simple. It gives you a log of temperatures. There's an entry report. You can see the faces, the names, if you choose to use the facial recognition and tie that to an employee's name and record. You'll see their faces, their names, either pass fail or a numerical value for the temperature, what time they entered, etc. Also, because it does tie into the cloud and you are able to do remote management and monitoring, there's actually alerts. You can set up a threshold alert. If someone comes in with a temperature that is above the threshold that you and your organization as the end user set, you get an alert, an email alert letting you know that there has been a high temperature at a particular kiosk or a particular location within your building or your campus. Again, like I mentioned, the reporting feature, you'll have one location where you can actually view the reports in real time. We call the dashboard. The entry report, where you get a graphical user interface to look and scroll and search through. Or if you like data, if you're a database person, if you just, I got to have my CSV, I got to have my Excel sheet. Basically, for lack of better words, you can dump those scans, you can dump that information out into a CSV file. And then from there, you can have fun. You can make pivot tables, you can create custom reports, you can parse that data. Like I said, it's up to you as the user how deep down that rabbit hole you want to go. And of course, determining if kiosks online are connected to the server and having that management app, changing the in-app settings, updating the name, the logo, pushing that out to all the kiosks, being able to group those kiosks And again, as I said earlier, with turning off the local storage. So it's online, someone scans, instead of keeping that photo, that name, that numerical value with the temperature on the device, it will go up to the secure cloud and be erased from the local device. So image requirements. Let's say you are going to use the facial recognition database for logging and scanning and keeping track of your employees as they try to enter your building and facility. A couple big points here. The term we like to use the most is the passport style photo. So the example we have on the screen here, I can see the individual's neck. I can see a chin, this nice big smile, cheesy smile. We got some eyes, we got some ears, we got a nose, and we can see the top of the forehead. So everything from the shoulders up, everything in there. We need to be able to see those eyes, chin, nose, face, so the algorithm can work to make points for matching when it comes down to recognizing the individuals later. Typically want to keep it under 500 kilobytes. So that's not hard to do. You don't need to get out your big fancy DSLR camera with the huge 105 millimeter lens and take a big old picture that's a million pixels by a million pixels. Really, the best we found is somewhere around 800 pixels wide by about 12 to 1300 pixels tall. If it looks like this, using the rule of thirds, which is a photography rule, and again, you don't have to be a professional photographer, but we want to get the top half of the head. We want to make sure we have a clear, defined picture of the eyes. And then again, the mouth and the cheeks. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, we're going to have to make them wear masks. Not a problem. Upload the picture without the mask so we can get as best of a baseline to start with. Because if he comes up wearing a mask and it's up over his eyes, it's not going to recognize anybody. One quick fix, lower it so this portion of the nose is still covered so the individual doesn't feel like they're exposing themselves to any potential biohazards or breaking the requirement per your organization to have a mask on, but just exposing this much of the cheekbone and this much of the nose right around here, just showing that bell off and the bridge, just get right down here at the bottom during your scans will help. So don't worry about masks. Just we want to feed the kiosk, we want to feed the database the best possible picture, because the higher the quality we can feed it, the more accurate your facial representations are going to be. Another thing, if you're using a pre-existing employee database, such as ID badges, or if you take formal photos at the end of the year for like holiday parties, etc., a lot of times those are staged in such a way where the individual's head might be tilted. They might be looking over their shoulder. Those are hit or miss. We would advise, I personally am dealing with a lot of these on support calls, would advise you to get the best forward facing where the eyes are on the same level as the lens of the camera that's taking it. Webcams, if you have a webcam you can turn around and you want to onboard a whole bunch of people that way, not a problem. I don't recommend selfie style photos just because a lot of times individuals might have their hand up or down or they've got a little angle action going on. It has to be straight looking forward. Last but not least, noisy background. It should be a plain industrial white or a light gray or the educational yellow. Seems like every school I went to as a kid was painted this very pale off yellow. Those work great. Plain backgrounds. No patterns, no wallpapers with crazy chevron patterns. That will really throw off the algorithm. A clean background, not a lot of noise, not a lot of busyness. For those who want to go the extra step and do Photoshop and things like that, don't blur the background. If you want to remove it and make it flat white, not a problem. No more than 20,000 individual faces. It just cannot handle more than 20,000 individual faces at any given time. So if you got more than 20,000 people, we can split you up into two different groups. If not, then you have nothing to worry about. Talking about getting set up. If you're already a user, if you've just purchased it, you're getting ready to purchase, you're on the edge of your seat, you're not sure, let me tell you about a resource library. We've got videos, we've got articles, we've got an extensive knowledge base that you can access. We've got a frequently asked questions section. I would urge you, if you're questioning, if you're curious, of course, at the end, I'll give you some contact details for me and my team if you need to reach out with some questions. But by all means, go to meridiankiosks.com. And at the top of the menu, you'll see the Personnel Management Kiosk. Go ahead, dig in, spend some time on those frequently asked questions. There's a lot of material there that you could cover before you even get the device. So when you do purchase it, when you do receive it, when you do get set up for MzeroManage and you're ready to synchronize and get your organization back and to get everybody back into the building, back into work during these uncertain times we're in, go ahead, spend some time. Everybody's got their phone with them. Go ahead, log in, take a look, spend some time looking at these FAQs, and just familiarize yourself. It's one of the best ways, besides actually physically working with the product and working with the software, to acclimate yourself and get prepared and get used to using it as you move forward. All right, so there's a couple portals we go to. So there's MzeroManage, which I would like to call the black and green portal, as you can see from the coloring. It is the server side. This is more for your administrative level IT tech guy. So if you got some techies in there, point her or him to the portal. This is where they're going to activate the device. This is where they're going to add it. This is where you're going to set up your groups. This is where you're going to check connectivity. This is where you're going to manage email alerts. So like I said before, someone comes in with 103 fever, the machine's going to ding. It's going to say abnormal temperature. There's going to be a big bright red LED on it. And then it's going to scan their face, scan their information, and then send a ping to whomever is subscribed to those email alerts. That all takes place here at the manage.meridiankiosks.com. So if you just want to add employees, if this isn't for you, if there's someone else in your organization, if you're thinking about purchasing the software, using it with the PMK, this is definitely going to be where they would go to go ahead and get it online and start getting it configured and added and phoning home and talking to the software. Then we got the fun side. Then we got the manage view. So this is where you're going to pull reports. This is where you're going to watch the dashboards. Where you're going to watch those scans come in real time. This is where HR, if you have a lot of, seems to be in the organizations that we deal with, a lot of HR representatives will sit on this page all day long and check for scans and audit and make sure that individuals coming into their building are scanning, are being safe, and are definitely not exposing anybody to any potential risks, such as biohazard or any illnesses, etc. That's the whole point. You want to get back to work. You want to make sure everybody's got a good temperature. It's part of the screening process. This is your page. This is your home, for lack of better words, so to speak. MzeroManage view, in the name view, you can view these reports. You can view these pictures. You can go through the personnel records. You can make mass global changes and setting changes from this page. Let's see. Bulk import. Can't leave that off. So I mentioned before, you could have 3 employees at your company. You could have 300. The personnel page allows you to add and remove and edit individuals or employee records one by one, which is great if, like, say, Jennifer Little just got married. Now she's Jennifer Smith. Boom. Okay. You can go in and change her name, and then she'll show up correctly on reports. Let's say somebody has retired and they don't need to be in the system. Click the X, remove their record. You've cleared up your data set a little bit. But you've got 300 people. You just bought this kiosk and you need to get them uploaded, added, so you can start using the facial recognition. We have a bulk upload. As you sign up, a lot of that information will be sent to you in a welcome letter or what we call quick start for MzeroManage welcome guide. That will show you how to do this, as well as include the links for the videos to walk and talk you through a lot of these processes. But essentially, you would create a CSV file, a comma separated values file, based off of a template, fill that information out, Create a zip file with the images of all the employees you wish to upload. And then with a few extra steps of naming everything right, you would add those and upload them, and it would start to process those records, and you'll start to build your employee database. You're on this call or you're on this webinar right now because you either have it, you just want to know what's going on, you want to enjoy it, you like listening to me talk, or you need some help getting it set up, or you're about to order it and you're saying to yourself, okay, this is a daunting task, I need some help. Okay, well, we can take care of that. We do offer onboarding packages. What is an onboarding package? If you're going through Meridian Direct or you have a reseller, they might have mentioned something about an onboarding package. An onboarding package is essentially an hour that you get. You purchase this hour with the team where you have an unadulterated session with one of the members of the support team, one of the members who works every day on the PMKs and dealing with MzeroManage. And we'll sit down, and if you've got a few issues with getting the device online, work through that. But more importantly, we can sit there and help you navigate the site, go through some what ifs, some oh, well, what about this? You know, it gives you a one-on-one session with a member of the team here at Meridian, where all we're talking about is MzeroManage, getting your device set up, getting you comfortable with using it. And that gives you an hour to hang out, talk about it. We can get you set up. We can go through some scenarios with you. If you have a question about, hey, I took this guy's picture and does it look like a good picture? We can answer that. We can tell you exactly what you need to fix and how to get it looking mint, just 100% working and flawless. You can set it and forget it, like the old infomercials used to go. That being said, with the onboarding, that gets you set up. Let's say you have some after hours issues or you need some extra support with the device a couple weeks, a month, the next day, etc. We do offer additional support packages. They should be available very soon. If unsure, please contact your reseller, or if you purchase direct from Meridian, they'll have information on that, SKUs, etc. But those support packages will offer everything up to 24/7 support, after hours support, service level agreements within a few hours or so. I don't have those in front of me because they're still being finalized, but that gives you kind of taste of what's to come. So you can purchase additional support packages that would cover you if you ever needed it. So someone backs into it and knocks it over and it hits a concrete floor, you got a support package for that. All right. So I've touched on everything here. And I just want to give a second. We're going to see if some questions roll in, which it looks like we got a couple. So I'll go up to the top of the list here. So HR has access to medical information like the temp results. Let's see, okay. So you could actually hide the numerical value. That was a privacy concern from day one. And you have the ability, if your organization cannot tie a record to a numerical value with a temperature, you can turn that off and it will only tell you if it's a pass or a fail. That way you do not have to see what would be considered in some organizations patient data. So in recap, you can turn off the numerical number associated with the temperature and just pass or just report a true false or a good temp, bad temp. When will this be available, Brian? This is available right now. If you already have a relationship with a reseller, I would encourage you to reach out to them, whomever you purchased your PMK through. If you purchase direct through Meridian or your reseller is unable to provide the MzeroManagement software and licensing, please reach out to sales at MZero. That's M as in Mike, Z as in zebra, E as in echo, R as in Romeo, O as in Oscar.com, sales at mzero.com, and one of our lovely sales representatives will be more than happy to assist you with that. Again, how do we subscribe? You would, if Brian, if you're asking about emails, once you have an account, there are instructions online that are as well sent with the setup information. If you're talking about getting a license, whomever you purchased your PMK physical kiosk through, or if you that reseller or us directly, or if you have not purchased one and you wish to get both, there's plenty of options out there. Or if not, sales@mzero.com. With the wall mount bracket, will it allow the device to be tilted both up and down? I can't think off the top of my head what the exact amount of degrees there are, but it does allow you to tilt up and down a little bit. I'm trying to do a protractor in my head. Say somewhere around 20 or so degrees at least. All right, let's get another question here. How do we add administrators? You can actually open a ticket to request to add additional administrators at this time, as everything is migrated over between databases from the beta version to the full version. We still have to do that manually, but our support team would be more than happy to take care of that, Todd. Just go ahead to Meridian Kiosks. You can go to the Personnel Management Kiosk. Under there, you'll see Help Desk. Click on Help Desk. If it asks you to create an account, you can do that if you want to continue tracking information, or right underneath that, just go ahead and submit a request. Be sure to include your organization's name and or possibly the root administrator from whom the account was set up with when it was initially set up. All right, we got a question here. When an employee, from Jason, when a notification of a temperature is sent, a failed temperature, can the employee name be included in the email notification? What are the privacy considerations associated with doing so? So at this time, it just tells you the location of the kiosk that has an alert and the timestamp. There were privacy concerns between that, but it is being developed and it will be added in the next major update to the platform to where you, the user, could toggle some of those features on. If your organization should allow it, you could allow it to send a name. You could allow it to send an employee ID, possibly a picture. Once that's cleared through the proper channels here and we perform the update, all active subscribe members will get a notification letting them know of that update to the platform. So currently it just tells you the time and the place. It's up to the user to verify either in real time via the dashboard who that was. Is there a way to automatically generate a report, Jason? A way to automatically generate and export a report from MzeroManage or Manage View, or is that strictly a manual process? Sorry, a lot of M's in that sentence. That right now is manual. There are some APIs involved that if you as an end user or your team feel like creating some custom reporting software on your end, but I can definitely suggest that to the development team as a way to automatically kick that off. It's a great customer suggestions, potential user suggestions like this that actually build the platform, build it up, so we can add great features moving forward. So currently right now, no, it is manual. All right, got some great questions coming on. All right, can we tie this with records into an HRIS system? Depends on what you have for an HR platform system. If they support external API calls, etc., if you can import a CSV, it kind of depends. There's more than one way to skin a cat, they say. It kind of depends on what your end result is. If you're trying to get that information, say it's time and attendance, we are working with several large vendors and currently established time and attendance software companies as well as access control companies. As those finalize and as those products come to fruition, we'll be able to release and announce that information. As of right now, it's all currently in development, but that is definitely a major move going forward that we're working with. What alarm codes include the photo with the alert? None. Right now, there are no photos sent due to a privacy concern, but it will only be in regards to the personnel management kiosk. It will only be over temp alerts. All right, let's see. Next one. We've used August since 5 since we have also numerous instances where email alerts fail to send from Meridian system. What's being done to just repeat email outages? Monitoring is put in place there. So if you have a test or a temp that you do, test the temperature, and you do not receive an alert, if you can open a ticket, and then we can actually go in and check it out, see if there's something on the server. 9 times out of 10, the device is either not online, falls off, there's network issues on the user end, or the domain is being blocked. A super user can only add other users to MzeroManage. Is that correct? How is a user set up as a super user if a user is only set up as a super user? Can they be changed to a super user? In the actual terms of super user, the super user right now is a reserved above level administrator console. The admin user is basically a way to assign people to access manage.meridian kiosk. Again, if you just open up a ticket on the website and you want someone added to your existing domain as an administrator, we can add those individually. When uploading a zip file of employee pictures, does the name of the picture file need to match the employee ID? Yes. So if you're looking at personnel.meridiankiosk.com, there's a VIP ID. That is the personnel number. That is the employee's number. They're, for lack of better words, whether you call it a badge number, etc. On the CSV file, that same VIP ID is referred to as the personnel ID. So the personnel ID on the CSV would need to match the JPEG or PNG portable network graphic of the picture. So if James Smith is personnel ID 123456, you would need to name his photograph 123456.jpg or .png. What if it registers the person as someone else? So there's two things. If the individuals do have some similarities, I saw a mother and son that worked at the same plant. They said hey, these guys are constantly getting shown up as someone else. They had very similar features. If you looked at just the eyes and the nose, everything except the bangs on the mother, you would not really be able to tell who this was. A lot of times this happens when someone's wearing a mask. We recommend pulling the mask down towards the bell of the nose, exposing more of the bridge. If you still have an issue on MzeroManage under the MzeroManage view, under the general settings, we have the facial similarity recognition. I'll tell you what it says because it's a mouthful. Let me just pull up. There is a way to increase the, I guess, the thresholds of what you want to call it. Basically, you force the PMK to do some more thinking, like, are you sure? Are you sure this is who you say it is? It will scan a few extra times, and it will do its best to find more points of recognition that it can actually say for sure this is who this is. The similarity confidence level for face recognition. So under general settings on MzeroManage view, that's personnel.meridiankiosk.com, general settings, similarity confidence level for face recognition. It's default out the box at 80. I would recommend increasing it to 85. If you still have issues with that, you can increase it to 90. Then you might want to look at either are they wearing a mask? Do you require them to wear masks? Or possibly getting some new profile photos for the two individuals, especially if they share some similarities, such as face shape, facial hair, glasses. Are they bald? Will this integrate with time clock software? We are working with several major time and attendance vendors as well as HR slash payment, uh, accounting packages for clocking in and clocking out. So that is, we're working with several big time name brand time and attendance providers. So as those are solidified, as those are made public and official, we will definitely announce that. All right, let's see. John, how do I add users? I'm an administrator and it's grayed out. We have to do that manually until everything is moved over. If you need a few users added, just open up a support ticket. You can go to PMK under Meridian Kiosks. You'll see the Personnel Management Kiosk menu. Under that, there's an option under FAQs to go to the help desk. Just go ahead and open up a help desk ticket. Make sure to include the user administrator or the company name so we can find your account easier and faster. We have used the kiosk to take photos of employees and registered them with their name, but it's coming up as someone else different. Shane, if you're still having some issues with that, if you're using the photos from the kiosk online, I would recommend taking better photos because of the compression. Once those photos are sent through the cloud, sent through the internet, etc., it actually will compress the data so you don't use up a whole lot of data. You're not tying up the network and stealing bandwidth. So if it's still continuing to do that, and you're still having issues, go ahead and open up a support ticket online, and we might have to dig into that deeper. It's probably something simple, but we can definitely get some time with you one-on-one to fix that. Employees that work in multiple locations, will their uploaded picture be available at all kiosks? Edward. Yeah, Edward. So if you have all those kiosks added to your MzeroManage profile, whether you made a group, you just, let's say you know, Ed's metal company, you manufacture or you pour metal. So Ed's metal company, if you have 10 kiosks underneath it, and you add everyone to the database, all 10 kiosks will get that information. You can split it up into groups, and once you get it split up into groups, you get a little deeper. That's a deep rabbit hole to go down. If you have any more questions about that, go ahead and reach out to me after this. I'll send you my my email address right now, and there goes. If you have some questions about that once you get set up, I think I recognize your name. You might be a new user, so go ahead and reach out and we'll take care of you. Can emails be sent to multiple addresses? Yes, so there's two ways you can do that. You can add multiple users, or you can request the help desk to add some multiple users for you for the time being. Or if you want to manage whom is on that list, I would recommend having your email network Active Directory administrator create a listserv or a distribution group. Say, for instance, you could have temp alerts at bradscompany.org, and then whoever's in that distribution group would then get that email. Is there a time frame for the next major update? Should be major. That's the key word there. So there's some minor things coming down the pipe. Again, those are all sent out via email blast to connected administrators, and if it's need be, will be added to the website or any other type of publications, documentations through marketing. So I would say within the end of the month, there's going to be a bunch of updated, improved, new, and user requested features. So. Let's see, you got a question about current overtime nurse needs a photo. Yes, all right, so exactly. So the only reason it's not up there is because of some privacy concerns with the photographs, temperature. That could be considered patient information. We definitely want to protect everybody's privacy. So that would be a user toggleable feature. That's definitely on the roadmap. I said a question about what happens. So if you have an issue with an email alert, please go ahead and raise a help desk ticket, and then that way we can for sure dig into the bottom of that. So if you have any issues with emails, or if you think you've got something set up right but it's not working how you wish it would or how you think it's working, then definitely open up a ticket. Do alerts have to be set up for each individual kiosk, or can they be set up by group? The alerts are set up in the sense of whomever is subscribed to them gets them. If you can only see 2 out of 3 of your kiosks, you will only get alerts for those kiosks which you have permission to quote unquote see. Yes, at this time we are setting, Brad, we are setting up the administrators manually. Just go ahead and let us know if you need somebody added. All right, let's see if we got any more. Yep, if you're having issues with that, go ahead with anything with a failure for something to send, email, or monitoring. We do monitor that. The fastest way to monitor that is for you as the user to report it, and then we can get it in front of the right eyes. Let's see. Yeah, you need to see extra logs. We can show you where those are at. Just open up a support ticket. We can show you there's a couple different logs here and there online. Let's see. What is being done to improve the facial recognition, improve the picture upload process and facial recognition process? Pictures in fact need to be squares resolution as opposed to rectangular. So once the photo is sent, there is a place for administrators to check and see how to determine if a face or a photo was sent. So if you go from the manage.meridiankiosk.com, you'll see a reports tab. Under reports, you'll see the personnel management reports. From there, you can actually access the personnel audit trail. But we are updating the process and the feedback every single time there's an issue. They update how it reports feedback. Initially with the bulk upload, there was no user feedback, and they made that quickly to show you what happened, why, and where there was an issue. Oh, so I got some feedback from one of our team members. So there is an angle to the wall-mounted kiosk. It is about 13 degrees. If you want it to tilt, you do have to purchase a separate non-Meridian supplied tilt. As it is, it's meant to be aimed slightly down low so you can put your face down into it or look down into the device. Can I add additional admins myself, or do I have to do that service desk? Right now, service desk. Hopefully, we hope to have that up ASAP. Do you have to pay for each M0 feature enhancements like the ones coming out later this month? No, at this time, updates and platform updates are across the board. If you need something specific, that's a whole nother story. If there's something specific that's developed for you and your organization, please contact sales. They can get that process started. That would require specific, even possibly third-party development. Let's see. Oh, got one more. Let's see. So if you're still having issues with that, what is being done to monitor for this on this side? So currently right now, if you do not get email alerts, if you're able to test that, if you do not get one on the screen, we would need you to open a ticket so we can fix that. When will the software be coming out of beta? It has been out of beta for about 9 days now. So it was out of beta on the 31st. All right, give it a couple more seconds. Doesn't look like we have any more questions rolling through. I'll give it about another 30 seconds, and if any more pop up, All right, we'll give it going once. Oh, got one. See. Okay, so we found the remote. Let's see, confirm whether or not face information is in sync to the units. What is being done to make remote management easier? Right now, if it's a specific issue you're having, that's going to be best to be handled through the ticketing system, not the webinar. All right, we'll give it one more minute. All right, we'll give it one more second. All right, that was a lot of questions. That's one of the longest ones we've done today. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out or join us next week. Anything else going on? And we're going to give it one more time. No more questions? All right. Well, it's been my pleasure today, guys. I hope you guys have a good rest of the afternoon and enjoy the rest of your day. If you have anything else, please feel free to reach out to us, sales at MZero, and we'll be happy to take it from there.